Hi guys, it's Siobhan with To Kitty and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Siobhan. I'm an intuitive tarot therapist. I do monthly readings for the collective, mostly right now doing the full moons and new moons. I also do energy updates from time to time whenever I feel called, and any other information that I find pertinent to report when it comes to the soul, the energy, the ascension process, and personal healing. All right, so let's jump into the reading today. This is for the Aries full moon on October 1st. This is the first full moon out of two in October, so there's another full moon on October 31st, which is Halloween. So this is a jam-packed full month of energy. There's a lot of transformation. There's a lot of change as well. Now, I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to go into any of the specific transits or the energies and what that means. I'm just going to intuitively pull cards and see what messages want to come through in regard to the Aries full moon. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I've made a special spread for today. I do have a 4-card full moon spread available for purchase if you want to check that out. It's on Instagram. You can check my bio bubbles for all of the information on the readings, or you can check out the description box below this video. Just hit the little inverted triangle or the show more button depending on which device you're watching from. So this is going to be a 5-card spread, and then we'll pull clarifiers and maybe some oracle cards depending on how this goes. So let's just jump right into it. This is the full moon in Aries. This is going to kind of last for I'd say about 30 days or so, although it does fluctuate. We've sort of already been feeling this energy for a while leading up to the full moon portal, and then going through the full moon tonight, tomorrow, the next day is going to be at its peak. So just take what resonates with you. If these messages don't resonate with you, then it's simply just not for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the overall energy of the full moon in Aries. We have the Emperor in reverse. Okay, the internal influences of this full moon. The 9 of Pentacles. Whoops. Sorry, guys. The external influences, Page of Wands, okay. Insight and guidance, wow, that was fast. Capricorn, or sorry, whoo, that was a Freudian slip. I meant to say King of Pentacles and I said Capricorn. So if there's some Capricorns out there, this may be for you. The highest potential outcome of this full moon. Okay, so right off the bat, we've got a lot of fire energy here. These are Aries vibes, right? So that's a fiery moon that we are in right now. At the time that I'm filming this, there's also a Piscean influence, but there's no water here, so it's very much more so that fire. The Emperor is the Aries card as well. Now he is in reverse, so as the overall energy, this is kind of it feels like a reassessment of what Aries stands for. I believe that Mars is in retrograde currently as well. So this is a big review time to go over some of these Aries principles, as Aries is the ruler of Mars. So Aries really stands for leadership. They're very fiery by nature. Oftentimes there can be a temper that comes along with that, but not always. It's more so just a passion. You know, there's a lot of passion for being in control and being able to get things off the ground and get things moving. There's definitely a sense of focus when it comes to what you want to produce or what you want to do physically. So this can be in relation to career, especially since we've got like the Emperor being the overall energy. We've got those coins cards, the Pentacles cards, which often refer to money, career, finances, that kind of thing, and then the pages, or sorry, the Wands cards, which are very much to do with career, passion, focus, and how you move forward with action towards something that you're passionate about or that you want to invest a lot of energy into. So the internal influence with the Nine of Pentacles, this could be about going within and finding more of that independence when it comes to how you sustain yourself, how you create abundance in your life, how you grow and then harvest what you've been putting a lot of energy into. So this has a lot to do with manifestation, I'm feeling. So this is a lot to do with how you're working, how you're acting, how you're behaving, the actual physical effort that you're putting into whatever it is that you're trying to bring to fruition. And that Page of Wands here with the external influences is talking about that as well. So it's kind of like, how much energy are you putting into on a daily basis to learn something new, to put that into application, to follow where your passion is guiding you, because ultimately that's going to result in things coming to fruition eventually later. Right now, the Nine of Pentacles is in the internal influence, so this may not be manifesting right at this moment or around this full moon. Although, that being said, this full moon is a harvest full moon. So, you know, just in terms of agriculture, this is about a time of harvest and a time of reaping and a time of rewards and abundance. So fall is also just known for that. It's, you know, that time of abundance where we have a cornucopia of all these different fruits and vegetables that are ready to be reaped, and we get to benefit in the enjoyment of those, and we get to share those with those whom we love or whom we care about, and we're grateful and we're thankful and all of those wonderful things. So this being more of an internal energy at the time of this full moon, this is more so about how you feel about that, even though there's no water cards here. So, but because it's internal, this is the internal realm. So it's how you're thinking about it, how you're feeling about it, what you're putting into it at a mental level that then gets translated into physical action. So the Page of Wands is how you actually go forward with what you want to create, and the plans that you've laid down in your mind or in your heart as to how you would like to go forward with a project or a career or something that you want to manifest or something that you want to create. The insight and guidance is the King of Pentacles. Now, I did say Capricorn for that, which is interesting, but it can also be Taurus, as you can see with the bull's heads here, or Virgo. So it is any earth sign, and we do have two aspects of earth here. The King of Pentacles is the masculine ruler of that earth realm, so he's very grounded in practical matters. He really likes to focus on what he can create physically and how he can manifest abundance. He's very much about investing in what he wants to create so that he can have a life that he enjoys. He doesn't enjoy the finer things in life, and he's also very willing to guard what he has created. As you can see, this little boot, this armored boot peeking out from underneath his robe. So this is his defensiveness over what he's created. He's willing to protect it. He's willing to secure his assets, whatever he needs to do to make sure that the financial stability and abundance that he has will be long-term, and it'll have that longevity to be able to sustain him and the people whom he cares about. So this is the insight and guidance around how we can work with the energy of this full moon. This can be about planning, this can be about investing, this can be about finding support from somebody who is willing to support you in some way that you need at this time. It could be financially, it could just be energetically. This can also be support in getting your health back in order and how you're spending your energy. That's kind of what I'm intuitively picking up on. This really looks like to me, where are you spending your energy? What are you doing with that energy? And your thoughts are energy, your emotions are energy, your actions are energy put into motion. So what are you doing with all of those things? How are you investing them? What are you creating with them? Is that what you want to create with them? It's kind of like asking you this full moon to reassess how you're maneuvering in your life and how you're creating and how that is producing results. It is time to take charge. It is time to take leadership and ownership and accountability of past choices. I believe that Saturn is about to go direct as well. So this is like, I've heard anywhere from 29 to 30 years of karma that's being cleared so that we can move forward again. The past little while Saturn has been in retrograde have been challenging for many of us, and just for the collective as a whole. There's been a lot of upheaval, a lot of change, a lot of things that needed to be readdressed, or things that needed to be adapted to as we kind of maneuvered through changing times and circumstances. So financial and career matters could have been, obstructed or challenged at this time going through that cycle. Now we're coming out of it, and we're still experiencing some of that energy of like, hurry up and wait. You know what I mean? Like, we're really ready to get moving. We're ready to get productive. We're ready to start taking action and creating change in a positive way, and what we want to create and what we want to manifest, and the money that we want to earn or whatever. But there's still this energy of, well, it's not quite that time yet. You can start planning things. You can start working on some of how you feel about that, because that's the first step in being able to manifest. And then you can start learning those skills and applying those skills and being optimistic about how you work with your energy, your manifestations, law of attraction, your emotional reactivity is the word that wants to come out, reactivity towards a lack of what you have. That's kind of what this is feeling like to me. There's something here about being defensive, especially with that Emperor in reverse and with the King of Pentacles and then this Nine of Wands. I feel that there's some defensiveness, whether this is, as a collective, we're feeling a little bit more defensive, like we have to guard ourselves against certain things. I'm not going to say what, but you guys know. Or that we have to guard ourselves against loss of some kind. We have to guard ourselves against, lack and not having enough. Now, the highest potential outcome for this is coming up as the Nine of Wands, which to me, in its highest aspect, would be about keep pushing forward, despite what we've been through, despite what you've been through in the past that was challenging or that wounded you in some way. It's like having the fortitude and the persistence to be able to move forward and to be able to, live to fight another day. Like, yes, he's being a little bit defensive here because he's guarded. He's guarded against what has come before. His experiences were sometimes challenging, difficult, traumatizing, painful. Any of these things, they don't just happen once and then they go away. We internalize those, and at a biological level, we're now guarded against that in the future. We've learned that lesson, and now we're prepared to address any situations that look even remotely like that. One of the downsides of that is that the brain can become super over defensive or protective around situations that don't call for it, and that's when our defense mechanisms can actually become a detriment to us. So that's something to be aware of for those of you who resonate with that. If you've already become aware of some of these defenses within yourself, then this is just a confirmation for you. Okay, so let's get some clarifiers to get a little bit deeper into what these cards are saying. So let's start with the Emperor. So we have the Page of Cups. Okay, so the Page of Cups is obviously that emotional card. Now, we do have two pages in this reading, and the pages are all about kind of a new beginning. They do kind of correlate to that Fool energy, which is a little bit naive, but not in the sense that they don't have good intentions. It's more so that they just don't have the experience. They're fairly young. Oftentimes they are literally referring to young people, children or adolescents who are just learning to work with the energy of these elements. In this case, fire, which is passion, energy, inspiration, sometimes sexuality, or a desire to travel. And then the Page of Cups being about the emotional realm, feelings, communicating those feelings, understanding those feelings, love, anything in the realm of the emotion. And or in the realm of the subconscious, as the subconscious does function through emotional interpretation and symbolism. So this Page of Cups, clarifying the Emperor in reverse as the overall energy. The Emperor is a very fiery energy, right? The Page of Cups is water. So the fire is in reverse, so we're being asked to sort of quiet down that inner fire so that we can feel the emotions and understand them and interpret them. Fire doesn't necessarily have to oppose water. We can use those two things together to create alchemy, right? We're mixing fire and water. They don't have to be opposites. We can combine them and get something new out of it, or we can learn something new from the experimentation of putting those two things together. So there is a little bit of, it's almost like a need for emotional self-discipline or control, having the strength to be able to kind of be aware of how you're feeling and why you're reacting or acting in a certain way, especially if it's defensive, and how you can use that information to benefit you going forward. So now that you have the information of okay, I'm reacting this way because I feel this way. So how can I take control and be accountable to that situation, and then use that information to be able to manifest what I do want rather than being defensive against something that I don't want, right? So we want to redirect the energy from what we don't want to what we actually want to create, because where your focus is where you're going to contribute a lot of energy. And that energy will bring about whatever that focus is on. So if you're focusing on lack, if you're focusing on being frustrated or angry, or you're feeling really defensive or stuck, that's that emotion that you feel in connection with that, and maybe some of the beliefs that you have at a mental level around that experience can be contributing to more experiences like that in the future. So you're in control of this situation. You get to choose where your energy goes, and you get to choose what you invest in, and therefore what you get back. So let's clarify the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so we have the 8 of Pentacles, and these other 2 cards did come out, so I will talk about them, but I'm not going to put them on the table. I don't know why, but I was called to the one that actually didn't flip over, which is usually the opposite of what I do, but I always just go with my gut. So the 8 of Pentacles clarifying the 9 of Pentacles is that, yeah, this is going to take some work. It's going to take some practice. You might have to learn something. Learning is actually a really big theme in this reading, because we've got 2 pages and the 8 of Pentacles, which all to me speak of learning a new skill, applying that skill, testing it out, trial and error, as well as honing that skill, getting better at it, perfecting it through practice, through repetition. And through that practice and repetition and learning and execution, that's where the results come from. The 8 of Pentacles is the preceding card to the 9 of Pentacles. So you do all that work, and then you get to reap the rewards and stand in your garden of luxury, because that's what you've created. Now, this is, again, these are internal influences, which are being clarified by the Ace of Wands in reverse and the 4 of Swords. So this could be a time of rest. Yeah, because a lot of these Wands energies, or this get up and go energy, is a little bit held back right now. So this might be a time that's actually not opportune to physically take action and, you know, go out there and apply for that job, or put that project into practice, or learn that new skill. If you're feeling called to that, you can certainly do all of the prep work for it, and you can start to do some of the internal work that will get you there, and maybe do some planning. But there's a little bit of a need to rest, just specifically with this full moon. After this full moon and going into the new moon, things might change. I will do a reading around that. And the second full moon at the end of October, we'll see how the energy changes and fluctuates as we move through this month. But as of right now, it's a better time to rest, to recuperate, to think about how you view finances, because I'm noticing in the back of this card, there's that stained glass window, and in the stained glass window, there's an image of what looks like the 6 of Pentacles, which is about giving and receiving financial support, or charity, or being a benefactor of some kind. So again, this is kind of circling back to finances and money and projects, passion, career, learning, building, manifesting. Yeah, manifesting is huge. So this is a time to reassess how you think about money, how you're connected to money. Some of the beliefs that you have about money specifically. This can also be about health as well. So if you're more drawn towards the health realm, I mean, health is abundance as well, right? So think about the things that you believe about health or that you feel about your own health and how you can create abundance in that realm going forward. Maybe start planning and eventually taking action towards, you know, maybe learning all about nutrition and, you know, drinking, maybe doing a juice cleanse just with that Page of Cups, right? He's got his cup. So if we take that literally, this can be drink more water or do a juice cleanse or something like that. You know, of course, always follow your own guidance and your own internal compass, but these are just messages. So let's clarify that Page of Wands in the external influence. Okay, wow. That one was energetic coming out. Wow, we have the King of Pentacles again. Okay, so whenever this happens, this is a particular message to pay attention to. The King of Pentacles coming out twice is an energy that we're really going to want to focus on for this full moon. This King of Pentacles energy is very strong, very abundant, very stable, grounded, secure. Again, he likes to protect what he's created. He's very mature and generous as well. That generosity can be a theme because that is the theme of the Six of Pentacles, even though it didn't exclusively come up. It's there in the stained glass window in that Four of Swords. So generosity and how you contribute or invest your time, your energy, your habits. This is a time to look at what you do on a daily basis and reassess any areas that are in need of a review. Is there something that's not working? Is there something that needs to be tweaked, changed, adapted, eliminated, addressed? This is a time to do that. It's a wonderful time and an opportunity because the stage isn't necessarily set energetically yet to fully go out there and take that action and make that big change, but you can start the process that will lead to that big shift and that really secure, grounded energy by making some small changes now, or just by planning out your next course of action and what you'd like to see going forward, or what you'd like to create going forward. Okay, so let's clarify the insight and guidance, which is that King of Pentacles energy. Another Wands card. Yeah, lots of fire here, lots of energy, lots of movement. The Eight of Wands is, it's almost an energy of things unfolding on their own. So yes, there's a lot of energy here. This may not be the best time to fully jump into action simply because things are already in motion. That's why we're kind of being asked to not retreat, but just hold back a little bit and focus on some of the internal things and the daily things and some of the maybe the conceptual things like learning, because things are already set in motion. The Eight of Wands, there's no character in this card, there's no people here, because those wands have already been thrown. And so it's not a time to actually take any action because it's already been set in motion. So now we're just kind of waiting to see how the fruits of our investment or our labors will come to fruition. Once those wands land, we will see what we're dealing with, right? It's a time of waiting, especially with a lot of this fire that's really challenging. I think that's why that King of Pentacles energy is here, because it's helping us to feel grounded, stable, and secure, as well as abundant as we go into this sort of transitionary stage where we're not quite at the result yet, but we're not at the beginning either. Now this is a full moon, which is the culmination of this lunar cycle. It's where things come to a head. It's where the energy comes to its full point of focus. So for this energy to be coming around at a full moon, it's very contradictory. it feels like two very opposite energies pulling against each other, which is what that fire and water kind of feel like to me, and then what they represent. I'm already feeling that with all of this fire and earth as well. So this is, yeah, there's a bit of a push and pull between really wanting to jump into action and get things moving, but feeling like maybe now is not specifically the right time to start that new thing, or to go all in. Essentially, it's more of a time to start the one thing that will lead to that thing. So it is an initiatory energy, it is a culmination energy, but it's just slightly different than any other full moon that I've read for so far. So let's clarify the last card, the highest potential outcome. Oh, there it is. Four of Cups. All right. Okay. Well, the Four of Cups is the energy of discontentment, boredom, not willing to accept. Now we have two energies here which are defensive and not willing to accept new things. They're both looking slightly to the left, which is the past. So they're focused on what has come before. In this case, he's focused on the emotional things that have led up to this point. Maybe there's something that he's not willing to let go of to be able to move forward, because there's something being offered here to him, but he's resisting it for one reason or another. Whether he's doing it consciously or unconsciously, he is resisting it. So this defensiveness in, the detrimental aspect could be preventing something from energetically coming to fruition, or being created or manifesting. Or an offer might be being held at bay because there's some level of resistance there to it. I think this is just completely normal at this time. Whatever's meant to be yours will be yours. So even if you push it away or you resist it, there will always be additional opportunities for you to accept something, either the same thing or of equivalent value to you on your soul journey. So you never really lose out on anything. There will always be opportunity for you, no matter what path you choose. So I would just want to, share that with you, so that if there's a fear of missing out, and so that is causing some anxiety in wanting to do something right now and take action, but feeling like you can't, then it's about going back into that space of trust and knowing that if something is for you, it will be for you in one way, shape, or form at one time or another. And we just kind of have to respect divine timing as it plays out, and we can also go into the internal workings of ourself, do some of that shadow work to address any issues of resistance or defensiveness that are causing delays. It's not that the thing will not come to you or that you can't create it. It's just that there may be some delays. Now, we don't know if those are necessary delays or unnecessary delays. Whatever they are, they're there for a reason. So it's how you work with that energy. Okay, so let's get, what do I want to grab from? I'm going to do the Wisdom of the Oracle as the final card for the full moon in Aries. Nope. There it is. Okay, so flexible. Yes, we need to be flexible right now, because we need to be adapting to this energy. It's kind of all over the place. Things are pushing and pulling against each other. So let's see what it says. Number 19, flexibility, teachability. I love that. The first thing it says is teachability. And since we have those pages here, yeah, this is about learning. It's being in the student mindset, because if you are resistant to learning something new, you can be sat in the classroom as long as you want, but if you're not open to learning it, you're not going to learn it. So it's bringing those defenses down, and kind of grounding all of this really frenetic kind of, it's an energy that's very all over the place. It can feel very overwhelming, and it's like you don't know what to do with it, right? So there's all this energy and it wants to go in all of these different directions, but you're coming up against roadblocks, and then you're sitting there going, well, why is this happening? Why is this? And this is so frustrating. What do I do? This is a time to be flexible with what's going on around you and how you're feeling. It's a time to be open to learning new things. So yeah, it says teachability, open-mindedness, which is exactly what I was just saying, and being adaptable without compromising what's most important. The oracle message is, a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure like a building would come crashing down in those conditions. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now, willing to learn new things, being teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Yeah, that King of Pentacles. Common sense is also important, but so is an open mind. So stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. So just like they were saying, it's about grounding this energy so that all of this fluctuation with that Eight of Wands, that's like the winds of a hurricane coming in, things happening really quickly. It can be very overwhelming. We might resist that, right? When things happen, changes happen that we didn't plan for or that we didn't expect, there can be resistance to that because there's a fear that things are out of our control. That's a natural human response. There's nothing wrong with that. We just want to be mindful of that. We just want to be open and aware and accept that as a fact so that we can then change it. Because when we're accountable to something, we can have control over it and we can choose the direction that we want to go with it. So in this case, it's being open-minded, being adaptable, learning something new, being curious rather than being defensive or shutting an idea down because of some internal dialogue of fear or potentially a lack of being or feeling secure, right? Because when we don't feel safe, we resist change. When we don't feel safe and secure in ourselves, we don't feel inspired to do new things because that would entail it's a test of us, right? It's a test of our fortitude, persistence. All of these things require that we're grounded. So despite the fact that this is an Aries full moon, it's going to be very much about grounding a lot of this swirling firestorm of energy that really has nowhere to go right now, so that we can use it in a way that allows us to integrate and take on new information, so that ultimately, in the highest expression of these two cards, we can learn from the past and then accept new experiences going forward without fear of loss or lack or having to let go and grieve where we came from. So adaptability. Yeah, being adaptable, being flexible, being curious and open to what's coming. All right, guys, so that is the energy reading for the full moon in Aries. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it and that you resonated and found some value in the messages that came through from Spirit today from these cards. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your support of me and my channel, and thank you to those whom I have worked with on a one-on-one basis. If you guys are interested in getting a tarot reading from me, I have options for email readings, as well as live readings and recorded video readings. You can check it out in the description box below. And if you're interested in some soul work, I have Reiki options available, as well as the Akashic Records readings. Thank you so much, guys. I love you, and we will see you next time. Bye.